going to show you how you can use Keynote to actually create your own little mini apps right within a presentation. So I have a Keynote presentation here, and I changed the document size to this presentation to make it look and feel like an app. And with this presentation in this app size, I can now add multiple slides. And when I choose to add slides, I get a lot of different varieties of slide types and different things that I can choose from. So I'm going to make this the cover or the beginning of my app. So when somebody comes into my app and they check things out, this is the first thing they're going to see is this title page or this main page of my app. And so now if there's things in here I don't want, I can simply tap and delete those things. And if I wanted to move things around, I can simply tap and move those things around. I have a formatting paintbrush up here at the top, and that paintbrush gives me all kinds of abilities to change colors and fill colors, add borders, reflections, all kinds of fun things to really fancy my app up if I want to. But now I want to add some things to this. So let's say I'm going to add a button. So I'm going to hit the plus sign here at the top, and there's all kinds of different things that I can add in my app, which would be pretty cool. So for example, I have the ability to insert shapes. And so if I go to this shape button here, I can insert more text boxes if I need to. I can insert lines, or there's a whole bunch of different shapes to choose from. I have basic shapes, I have geometric shapes, objects, all kinds of different kind of clip art type things that I could use for buttons if I wanted to. But I'm going to start with just a basic shape, and I'm going to do maybe this rounded rectangle here. And then I could simply tap and resize to make it whatever size I need. And the cool thing about shapes is if I double click inside of them, it allows me to automatically add text. So maybe I'm going to have a button, and I'll just call this button 1. So this is button 1, and again, I can position it, move where I want. I can tap my paintbrush at the top. I can change colors, size, and effects. I have options for font and all kinds of things if I want to. I could also insert pictures on top of this button or other things to fancy it up. So I could decorate this as the main page of my app. But what I want to happen next is I want it that when I tap on this button, I want it to take you to another page. So if you think of the way an app works and tap on a button, it's going to take me somewhere else. So what I need to do then is make that somewhere else. So I'm going to go over here to my new slide button, hit the plus sign, and I'm going to choose a template for my next slide. Now I could pick and choose one of the pre-made ones, or I could just start with a blank one. It's up to you. Maybe I wanted to use this big fact one here because I like this giant number. All right, and so again, I could reposition things. I can tap and delete anything that I don't want to make these things go away. It's up to me. And so this is going to be the spot for my button 1 page. So whenever I click on button 1, I want it to go here. Now, I'm calling it button 1, but yours is going to be whatever your app does. Your app is going to have different buttons or links that are going to take you different places, and this is how we're going to set that up. So I have a main slide right here with a button on it, and then I have a second slide here called button 1. And what I want to happen is that on this main slide, when I click on this button, I want it to automatically take me to button 1 to that page, okay? So in order to do that, all I have to do is I'm going to tap on my button, and this little menu pops up, and I can tell it to link. And when I tell it to link, I can choose what do I want to link this button to. Now I have some options like first slide, last slide, but there's an option here to specifically choose which slide I want to link it to. So I have to make the slide first. It won't let me link it to a slide that I haven't made yet. So as long as I've made the button 1 slide first, I can say, hey, when you click button 1, I want it to go to slide number 2. See the number 2 here? So I want it to go to slide 2 just like that, and then simply click off of it, and now that is linked. And you can tell it's linked because it's got this little arrow in the corner of that button. And now I could do the same thing for another button. So maybe for this one, instead of just a shape, maybe I wanted to insert maybe a book. And so I can insert my book graphic, and maybe I'm going to put that button down here. And again, I can format it, make it look the way I want, style, colors, etc., etc. And so maybe I want this book to be a link to a website or a link to another slide. Again, if I want to link to a slide, I just have to make that slide first. I create it, and then once I've made that slide, I'm going to tap on that thing that I want to link, and then simply tap on that link button. And when I go to that link, then I could either tell it to go to whatever slide that I wanted it to go to, or up here at the top, I can tell it to not only link to a slide, I could link to a website, I could link to an email, I could link to a phone number. So if I wanted to, I could link this to a website and maybe have it go to holman.psdr3.org and hit done, and then it makes it a link. So now if I wanted to test my app out, I have a play button up here at the top. I'm going to start with my first slide or my main page of my app. And then when I hit play, this is going to be my interactive app. And so now, if I wanted to test out my button, I click button 1, and boom, it takes me right to that button 1 screen in my app. All right. Now, I'm here. I don't have a way to get back home. All right. So chances are, I need to add another button to this button 1 page that will take me back to my main page. So again, I could simply decide what I want that to look like. Maybe I type the word home. Maybe I will search, and I'm going to search for the word house or home. And so maybe I want this to be my home button here, and I'll put this down here at the bottom, and I'm going to tap on it, and I'm going to link, and I'm going to say, hey, whenever you go here, I want it to go to maybe the first slide, or I wanted to, again, link the slide and just say, hey, go back to slide 1. Okay, so what I'm creating here is a bunch of buttons that will navigate around my slideshow from one spot to the next to make it feel like what an app would work like. So again, if I hit play, here's my button 1, I click button 1, here's my button 1 page, now I have a home button, and when I tap on my home button, boom, it takes me right back to that main page. I can test it out as many times as I want to make sure it works. Now, I also have a link here that goes to a website. So if I click on that to test that out, it should take me in my browser right to a specific website that I wanted to. And then again, if I simply 3-finger swipe, I can get back into my Keynote app to go back to where it was. So this is how you can use Keynote to create your own app.